All right. So I was on YouTube and I was looking for a necro build because I was struggling with my necro. I really was. I couldn't figure out how to do any damage. I tried minions. I tried wells. I didn't know. So I decided to just sit down and make my own. Be original. How about that? Anyway, uh, I think I put together a pretty good build. I really only spent it like I don't even know, probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, probably more like half an hour on it. You could probably beef it up a little more. It's pretty weak one-on-one. I would not recommend trying one-on-one people. It works sometimes if you do it right, but I mean, it's better to just stay in a group. We'll start off with what we're using, which would be my mighty princess wand, or a scepter of focus, and a staff. On the scepter, I like to use the sigil of agony because it increases bleeding duration by 20%. Now, this isn't the only thing we have increasing our bleeding duration, because we have quite a bit of bleeding here. This one is the most awesome when you look at the duration. It's 21 seconds. That's like a long time, especially in battle. 15 seconds on each of those. 15 seconds there. 10 seconds. So that's a lot of bleeding. And then I put the sigil of bursting and boost the condition damage sigil of bursting there as well, so we constantly have 6% increase there. Increase bleeding on nearby foes for 10 seconds, or inflict it rather, when you swap to this weapon, so that's nice to have another thing of bleeding going on. The rune I use is Rune of the Nightmare. I don't remember if I bought it with gold, but I don't think it's very expensive, especially when you play PvP. You get 25 condition damage, 5% condition duration, which is another reason why we have this. And then it also helps with like the one fear that we have wherever it is, And then I go with the Rampager Amulet. I have the precision there rather than a 1200 condition damage, because I'll show you why when we get to the specializations. You need a bit of condition or precision, critical damage to inflict a bit more bleeding. With our specializations, I like to go Spite, Curses, Blood Magic. To keep it simple, I go 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and 3, 3, 1. Or, to go through it like a normal person, your Shroud skill gains 1 might. I don't use Shroud that often, but you could really beef it up by changing just a few of these. The Shroud does do a good bit of damage already. Then you go on to Bitter Chill. Chilling a foe inflicts vulnerability. There's quite a bit of vulnerability with this build. It just increases the damage, makes their health drop. Inflict vulnerability when you strike a foe below the health threshold. Deal more damage while downed. So more vulnerability, and you do more damage when you're downed. Chill of Death. Cast Spinal Shivers on a foe when attacking them while their health is below the threshold. Chill your target and remove up to 3 boons, dealing extra damage based on the number of boons removed. So you're chilling them, which is helpful for this chilling, because we do have a bit of chilling on this build throughout it somewhere. Yeah. And this adds more chilling, and it removes 3 boons, so that's nice. Gain might when you strike a foe below the health threshold, 50%. Reduces recharge on signets. Signets grant might when cast and convert boons on affected foes to conditions. So we're converting boons to conditions, so I mean, even if they're trying to get something going for themselves, I'm not letting it happen. We have 2 sigils here, so to have a bit of a quicker respawn on them is nice. I don't cast the health sigil too often. I like to have that healing when I'm struck by a foe, but this one I'll cast because look at all that. Over 10 seconds for most of it. That's crazy. Power improves power if you don't have it. If you have it passive, And then we go down to curses. Critical hits have a chance to cause bleeding. That's where the criticals come in that I was talking about. So you get some bleeding on there. When your conditions meet the threshold, your next critical hit will cast Plague Signet on your target. So when you get 3 conditions, your next critical hit, which is hopefully soon since we have that much of it, you activate Plague Signet, which sends all your conditions to the foe, so there's more conditions for him. Gain Fury when entering Shroud, so there's something else for your Shroud. This one is Master of Corruption. This is for our Corruption skill. This reduces the recharge of it from 180 to 120, which is pretty nice. It only adds poison onto it, but when you cast Plague here, you have like 35,000 health. You're not getting killed, really. And that's not doing much damage to you. So, then you get Target of the Week, increases critical hit chance for each condition, and critical hit for each condition on your foe. Now, that's pretty good for your critical hit chance. Gain condition-based damage based on your precision. So, that's why you want to have a lot of precision, because then you have that precision, you gain more condition damage. And with the staff, I'll tell you that in a second when we get to it right now. While wielding a scepter, your condition damage is increased. Conditions inflicted by scepter skills have increased durations. So that adds the duration onto the bleeding, and it makes us have 1500 condition damage rather than 1400 with the staff. So that's nice. And then if we go down to Blood Magic, this is trait line. It helps the allies a lot. I'm sure you could find another one that might beef up your character's health, but I like Blood Magic because this is a good, I guess it's a good Zerg character, you could say. Mark of Blood, inscribe a mark, or leave a mark of blood when you dodge. So every time you dodge, you put bleeding on your foe. So this is a good bleeding build. Cast Lesser Signet of Vampirism on your foe when you inflict bleeding on them that matches or exceeds the threshold. So if you have 4 bleeding stacks on them, which is pretty easy with this build, you cast this Signet on them and you mark the foe, and your allies will get some health from them. And then you siphon health whenever you hit a foe, and minions transfer their health to you and siphon it and transfer it to you, but that doesn't matter because we're not running any minions. You and your nearby allies siphon health with attacks. That's pretty nice to have constant life siphoning there. As long as you are not downed, allies near you do not bleed out if they are downed. Gain healing power based on your current health. Wells siphon health every time they pulse, and grant protection to allies when cast. Reduces recharge of wells. So these siphon health every second, and to your allies they will reduce incoming damage by 33%. I have these 2 wells here, and it also reduces the recharge of it. So all these have reduced recharge. I don't like to wait on my skills. So that's the specializations. Now I'll show you the skills that we're using. That's the Signet of Vampirism for health. The Signet of Spite. I like to use that to get some extra conditions on there. Well of Suffering. Target area pulses, damaging foes, inflicting vulnerability. So there's some vulnerability. And like that life siphoning I said. Target area pulses, converting boons on foes into conditions. So this build really doesn't treat the enemy's boons very well. We don't want them to have boons on themselves. And then I use Plague for my elite. You could probably use Lich form, but I like the Plague because when you're in a group, it does some damage. I'll try to do it on these golems, but I don't know if it'll work too well without people there. It does do some good damage, though. Now I guess I'll show you how I approach these foes. I always approach them with the staff, because look at I like to throw all these areas down first. So I'll go in and I'll target my foe first, always, and then I'll cast this down, and I'll do that, and I'll cast that, get some crazy conditions on him. Then I'll just lay down all these areas. And sometimes before I even cast them all, the foe's dead. I mean, their health just drops like crazy. I mean, all these areas. I didn't even get to the scepter. The scepter's got an area. You just attack these foes. Look at how fast the health is dropping. It's pretty nice. 21 stacks of vulnerability, 9 stacks of bleeding. Can't beat that. It's nice. So then I'll go into plague, see what I could do against these things. Put some bleeding on there. It's dropping their health pretty steadily. It's nice to have when you have your foes around. You got about 5 stacks of bleeding constantly on there if you keep spamming one. You get some poison going in there, some blindness. It's not gonna be the finisher of anybody, but it certainly helps to just slowly bring down their health. Now I'll run over to Svanir, and I'll show you just how weak this build is. Why you should not go 1v1ing. Like I said, it works, but sometimes, but not too often. You could do well against a thief, because I think those wells and those areas with the staff, I think they do some pretty good damage even while they're stealthed. And if you get a weak thief, that's pretty good. I'm gonna fight Svanir because I think Chieftain's a douchebag, and mind you, I'm playing with one hand now because I'm holding a mic, because I'm not fancy. I guess I don't have a mic stand, so I'm holding the mic. I'm playing with one hand. I'm not gonna be mobile at all. This build certainly is not mobile. I mean, it runs pretty slow. Now I'll see what I can do against Svanir. I'll show you how quickly the health drops here. And approaching Svanir, since he's going to just pretty much teleport to me, I'm going to attack him once and then drop all these wells on myself, because he's going to knock me down, and I still want to do some damage while he's there. So I'll just drop these all right here on top of him. But you see how fast this health is dropping? I don't really stand a chance. Now, you see, it's all right. I'm hovering around 4,000, but if you're fighting someone strong, it's not going to be too good. And this is actually the first time I've killed Svanir right here. I didn't. But normally when I go up to Svanir, I don't last too long. I got him now though. So yeah, I'll throw in some gameplay on this. I hope you like it. It really helped me out with the Necros. It's pretty nice if you just run with people. That's the main idea of this build is to run with people. Okay, so this is a battle at the temple, and right here, there's pretty much just people talking shit there. I came up in God Ferocity. Mid started to get capped, so I went back down and decided to try to fight 1v1 like I said you shouldn't do. So I just threw down all my areas there and went into plague. And then he regened his health and popped that whatever that is. I guess Death Shroud. My friend came over, but so did his, so I got downed here. Not much else to it. I respawned and I went mid again. And I went on 1v1 against this guy again because I thought I could take him. So his health is pretty down there already. He goes Death Shroud there right before he dies. And this time I waited till he was like almost dead to pull out Plague or Death Shroud on him, and I actually got him 1v1 there, so that's what you do want to do when you 1v1. And I figured I'd let the llama play out for you. And now here I went down to get tranquility, you know, noob team, nobody else wanted to come.
Your enemy has the temple now.
Right before it spawns, someone else came down too. Now this is a thief, so it's not as hard to 1v1 them. As you can see, their health just dropped because of all these spots I was dropping on them. So basically I just finished them off, got tranquility, cap all 3 points. But see, even then my health was down, all the way down at 300, so. Now this is a different match. This is a match at Legacy, my favorite map. And this is right in the beginning. We went up to mid, and 3 of their guys came over, as you could see. So I'm dropping all these spots on them. And then I go Plague, and now here's where you could really see the damage of Plague. The constant annoyance, and that teeth puncher there, he's getting the brunt of it. He's actually pretty weak, and I played on that for this whole match. Had him running away and stuff. So here we basically came and downed pretty much everybody at mid. This person tried to run away. I went over and shroud on him. I don't exactly know what that means. And then I decided to go far. Nobody was over there. Or so I thought. And now here's a good example of how quickly you could get downed as well if you try to go 1v1 people. Now this is a Guardian. Their health doesn't even drop before we're dead. So I went and I capped their far. Now I came back to mid here. And I was going after that person because they downed me earlier and they were running. But I wasn't going to go chasing them or anything. So I came back to mid to try to help Sky out there. And here you can see me going after Teeth Puncher again with my Plague. And he's almost dead already from this. So he runs away. And now there's someone else here at mid. And now our friends are here, so I'm not too worried about dying. But I should be, because, yeah, that happens. But I think I get revived here. And I'm pretty sure we end up taking mid here, because 2 of them are already dead, and then there's just that one up there. Who goes stealth and runs away.
Your base is under attack.
And then here I'm coming back on mid. And this is near the end of the match. I just figured I'd show you guys one more example of this Zerg effect we have going on here. You can see he's dead already. Now her health's going down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I hope this really helped.